Welcome back, Strong Long fans. It's Fango, and you see it's Lady Bozo. The umibozu girl. She is. But this episode's not only going to have her, it's also going to have the Venus Flytrap girls who comes after her. But we got to start with Lady Bozu. And yep, she's a pretty bad girl. I didn't want to make her too dark, so I just made her gray rather than black, so she can be more visible. And just so her outlines could be visible, not so she's just completely black and dark. So yeah, we'll just call her, that's her name, Lady Bozu. She's the umibozu lady. But not only is she umibozu, she is Lady Bozu. Go umibozu, or go Lady Bozu. That's when we see, or however the cryptid's name is pronounced, or the sea creature's name. Is it umibozu or umibozu? I'm not exactly sure, but this episode is gonna open with Fango, and let's say it's let's say this mecha suit kind of looks like a T-Rex, kind of. It's like a T-Rex type mecha suit. Or maybe let's say it's a T-Rex, and then Fango realizes that Lady Bozu. Let's say this is the one he uses to fight Lady Bozu. It's a T-Rex mecha suit. Ain't that sound cool? Yeah, the T-Rex 8000. You know, first Fango we see that he's already out. We don't see a part where a hacker tells Fango that the dream gate just opened. We just find out that he's looking for Lady Bozu. And then all of a sudden, when he finds her, we see she comes out of the water and then knocks over the first structure, and that's in vehicle, which she sinks a ship and knocks over a tower crane. And Fango turns her around like, what? And he's like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I see what you're after. She's really cute, by the way. Or kinda, yeah. She's pretty cute. She's a Lady Bozu. Lady Bozu, you're the girl. You're the prettiest one. And so yeah. Anyway, didn't mean to stop talking, which I've done in a few of the other episodes for pretty much. But yeah, I'm gonna get a drink. I'll keep talking. I hope you can hear me from all the way over here. Might need to yell though, but I don't want to have to yell. I know yelling isn't a very nice thing, but it's pretty much what I'm gonna have to do. So yeah, Lady Bozu. Okay, I'm coming back now. Or as long as I can duck down when I said duck down because there's this beam, even though there's nothing that I really have to duck underneath. I'm just pretending like it's like a obstacle that I have to duck down. It's like this old wooden bar or beam that's on the ceiling in the kitchen. This is where my laptop is where I'm podcasting is in the kitchen. And this is where I've been podcasting the whole stinking time. But yeah, well, let's not talk about where I'm podcasting. Let's talk about what let's talk about what the podcast is about. It's about my episode. Sorry, I was trying to make sure my drink wouldn't explode. I didn't want it to explode because that would have been the worst time to have an explosion, a drink explosion, you know? Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be okay. Smelled something bad and... Oh! It's okay. Overflowed a little bit, but it's okay for the most part. Just filling up my drink, that's all. So yeah, there we go. Oh, come back here, lid. Oh man. Like what if... Also, maybe let's say, since I'm podcasting again, maybe let's say there's actually... So yeah, Lady Bozu is one of these Lunerboonie. She's a pretty cute one. She actually looks like, gives me this feeling I just want to hug her. I thought the Aether Moth was very cute, like cute enough to hug. Because she was the cutest one I made from what I saw. But yeah, we gotta focus on Lady Bozu because we already did the Aether Moth. So yeah, Fango. He notices her, starts fighting. She attacks, but Fango like grabs her first, and then she goes wah! And then that's when she falls. Let's say he kicks her. Okay, just sick of the cats running behind me like that. Sorry about that. I really should be talking about the episode, not anything else other than Fango or Strong Lungs or the Lunerboonies, or like stuff in Strong Lungs, especially, or like the cities in Strong Lungs, like Green Ridge. Well, this battle's actually taking place in Semi-Truck City. It's another Semi-Truck City battle. This battle, yeah, this one is real sick. Now, this girl had to be defeated with the cruise ship, but we're not on that part yet. So, let's say Fango does like 3 attacks. He uses, let's say this dinosaur has, like, can actually, let's say the, like, front of it opens up. Let's say there's 4 attacks he does first. We see the machine guns. Then he uses the missiles, which don't work either. Then he uses the laser eyes, doesn't destroy her. And then he uses... and also this machine can breathe fire. Goes like... Whoosh! Then she attacks back. She grabs one of the trains from the train yard. And it hits the mecha suit. Doesn't damage it, at least. It just... Fango's like, whoa! Says, oh wait, this is my strongest mecha suit. How about you try this? And then he grabs her and picks her up. He sinks, and then we see the claws of his mecha suit comes out and sinks into her skin, like her flesh. She goes like, ow! We make her, or no, she doesn't say ouch. She just makes a, like, painful roar. She roars in pain when she gets grabbed, and Fango sinks his dinosaur claws into her. His mecha suit's claws into her flesh. Like her dinosaur mecha suit. The old dinosaur mecha suit. So yeah, he sinks the dinosaur mecha suit's claws into her flesh, which hurts her and she roars in pain. And then Fango... and then he cuts, like... He cuts her in a whole bunch of places. Let's say he cuts her, like, right... like right on the arm, he just goes and then cuts her on the leg, cuts her across the face, like on the cheek, and then on her stomach, or maybe like next to, like on the hip, I think it's called. He cuts that, or like just cuts the side of the midriff, like just cuts across there, and then he cuts like in like the chest, and then like, he gets her in quite a few places. Yeah. And that's when he kicks her back into the water before she destroys anything else. Let's say she did destroy a left turn signal water tower while trying to hit Fango when she hits her with the train. That's when you see a train destroy a left turn signal water tower. Or let's say she actually... Or no, I want to I was gonna say she destroys a dome cathedral with the train, but I was gonna save that for. I mean, let's do that with the Venus flytrap girls. But yeah, that's when we see her kick her back into the water, and then he grabs the cruise ship, and she comes back up, and he hits her with it. He goes like, "Ah! Ah!" And then Fango's like, "Woo!" He's like, "I love this mecha suit. It's probably my favorite out of all the others." The next one. Oh. Okay, sorry about that. Got distracted because, well, never mind. Okay, so yeah, as I was saying, sorry, getting in my head when I'm not supposed to be. So yeah, here, it's just the cats. Here, maybe I should stand, like, up here against the shelf so they can run in front of me and not behind me. I should probably sit down, perhaps, or I'll be right back. But yeah, he defeats the umibozu, by the way, after he pushes her back into the water. He uses the cruise ship, and then she dies after he hits her with it. So yeah, now here comes the Venus flytrap girl type deal. Fango ain't done with. Oh yeah, I like that little like flower crown or whatever the heck it's called. Like, no, I wouldn't say it's a headband, but like I've seen like some girls wear that around their head. It's kind of like a headband but made of flowers. But since these girls are made of plants, they're Venus flytrap girls. Let's say that they come through. That's on Fango. That's on me. But after Fango defeats the umibozu lady, it says, "The next day." That's when we cut to outer space. And then that's when we see the Venus flytrap girls' asteroid egg come through the dream gate. And it's heading towards Earth. That's when Hacker and Fango... Yeah, that's when Hacker notices the dream gate open. Fango says... He says, "Fango!" He says, "Huh?" And he says, "I'm gonna go for a walk in my mecha suit." We see... Well, before we get to that part, we see Hacker saying, "Oh no, the dream gate, I gotta tell Fango." And then we see that Fango's playing on. So I'm gonna go for a walk in one of my mecha suits. Well, let's try this big castle one. This one's cool. It's like a giant castle type mecha suit. And that's when he says. That's when Hacker says, "Wait, Fango! Are you getting in your mecha suit?" He says, "Yeah." "Why? Did another Lunerboonie come through the dream gate?" He says, "I'm afraid so, man." He says, "Well, good thing. I guess it's time when I go. I'm just gonna go for a walk and wait for her to show up." That's when Fango's going for a walk. This battle has to take place, and perhaps, let's say this battle takes place in maybe not. Let's see which city. Let's say this battle's taking place in Box Park. Yeah. I'll show you what Box Park looks like. Maybe it should take place in Fan Point. Perhaps. Fan Point's only like a mile, like, away from... Like, only 1 mile, like east from Phone Bay. But it's nowhere near the ocean like Phone Bay is. Yeah, just like Wisconsin, the whole Wisconsin type deal. It's like at the top of Strong Lungs. And the bad news is, I think Strong Lungs is actually touching the Bermuda Triangle, which Strong Lungs has to be careful. The good thing is that it's kind of diagonal. The triangle's kind of like the line's going like straight up. Kind of like, I'll show you how it's going. Yeah, how the triangle looks next to America. it's okay. But yeah, let's stick with them. So yeah, this battle would take place in Fan Point. Well, maybe let's say the alien girl battle takes place in Fan Point. But since one is green, I'm gonna have to wait. And these girls are green. I don't want the same color coming after the color I'm using. Like, you know what I mean. Gotta make sure I stay awake for this. You know what I mean? That's some pretty catchy music I was just singing there. It's pretty awesome, right? Yeah, it certainly is. Okay, I'm back. Sorry to be so long, or actually it's pause and unpause. Get a drink. So yeah. It's, what's it called? Oh, there's my dog. No, don't pay attention to the... So yeah, this is probably where we see Dimey going to see his friends. Now, this battle takes place in a box park. So yeah, Fango rushes to box park, and then that's when these son of a guns show up. That's when, after he defeats the... Well, these aren't... But hey, I just came up with an idea. There's actually a third one after them. First he fights them, and then they go, Yeah, he fights them. And then that's when Fango realizes... Well, he doesn't fight them just yet. Once he arrives in Box Park, he sees that there's eggs. He says, wonder where these eggs came from. He looks inside them. Once he sees like a plant growing out of them. And then we see these two Venus flytrap girls emerge from them. Like, hello! Or they come out and attack Fango, and then they grab it and like, ugh. It's okay. Is it pod? Oh, dang. Sorry I was silent for too long. Real sorry about that. I was all up in my head. Dang. Well, there's no way I'm going to be able to get that out. Then I'm going to have to, like, I might need to get some support. I'll let maybe YouTube edit it. Maybe YouTube should probably edit some of these for me. If YouTube could pretty please edit out, like, the parts where I don't talk, it can, it can edit out those parts. It can also edit out my apologies for not talking, maybe. Maybe, like, the parts where I mess up a little bit. Yeah, they can edit out that part. Hope they sure take down this one. Yeah. But yeah, this part is, yeah, the Venus flytrap girls. Once they grab him with their vines, they try to trap him, but he breaks out. He breaks free from them. This is like a dog mecha suit he's driving. Dog fighting them. That's when he tears their... Let's see, I forgot what he... Oh yeah, this is the tanks. He uses the tanks to defeat these girls. He uses like a whole bunch of tanks. Yeah, he uses that, and he's pretty well done on doing it. Yeah. Pretty darn stinking good job for Fango. Especially when he's all up in strong lungs. But hey, yeah, anyway. Fango's pretty spot on with this. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, he uses the tanks to defeat them, but not just yet. First they, like, grab the train. They grab, let's see. And that's, because this is the one where they throw a train at the cat, like, dome cathedral. Then they try to hit Fango. They actually do it while trying to. They try to hit Fango's energy core. He goes like, whoa! He grabs it and one almost hits him in the face, but he ducks down. But yeah. Let's say first they try to hit him with a tanker truck. He goes like, whoa! That's like the dog, like he points his fists at them, and then the fists opens up horizontally, like they open up kind of like this, like the middle of them like separates, like the two sides separates, and they open up kind of like a door. And then these rockets, it's like this, and then the machine gun. There's like four, or let's say there's like 4 machine guns in the middle, and right above them and below them there's rockets. So he's shooting them with both machine guns and rockets, and they're going like pew, pew, pew. Yeah. It's hitting them, but then they try to defend themselves with a tanker truck, but Fango kicks it. Then he closes them. Then his fist closes really quick, like they all do, and then that's when the chest opens up, and then that's when the like dog's stomach opens up, and this cannon. Let's say like there's a monitor, like the monitor's in the chest, and then this cannon in the dog's stomach opens up. That's when it fires at the Venus flytrap girls. Or let's say the cannon actually doesn't open up in the stomach's location. It actually opens like right above Fango's monitor, and then he presses the chest beam, like says, "Feel the chest beam," and then it hits the Venus flytrap girls. When he does this, it's like he does like the zigzag line thing, like he did in, I think it was the Medusa episode, the one before, and then it hits them. They go like, "Ouch!" And then they're like, "Ah!" Yeah, and that's when you see like all sorts of stuff. Actually, this next robot should be really, really cool. I'm coming up with a really, really cool robot. It's actually the best robot you probably see. Well, it's not this dog one. It's actually a different one. It's actually going to come up in the episode after this one, I say. Or maybe it could be a different one. I could save it for a different episode. But yeah, this one he defeats. Then that's when they grab doesn't hurt them too much. That's when they grab the train and try to hit Fango with it. And then Fango's like, "Whoa!" And then like one of the train cars like hits the, let's say it hits, like let's say the train itself hits the Dome Cathedral. And that's when they put a whole bunch of cars in their mouth and start shooting at Fango, and Fango's like, that's when the fingers of, that's when he gets like the, in between, like right above the chest, we see these like we see like plasma swords open up, and then he uses them to cut, and he does this, he goes like, "Ha!" He's like doing this like to avoid being hit. saying, "You can't hit me, kid. You can't hit me." That's when the tanks. Let's say when the military tries to help, he says, "Wait, let me use your tanks." He says, "Ah." He says then when the tank shoots at them, the fighter jet shoots at them, they knock the fighter jet. Let's say they knock this fighter jet into a left turn signal water tower. Then it falls. Or let's say it just like explodes. Let's say it actually hits an oil tower, which causes an explosion. Say, and then like there's, and then Fango's like, "Whoa!" And there's actually like, and then that's when Fango says, "You're not getting away with this, girl." That's when he grabs the two tanks then throws them at them. And that's when it goes through there. That's when, or let's say that he grabs on, or let's make the story different. Let's say this is another Lunerboonie he goes inside of. I haven't been doing this part where he goes inside the Lunerboonie's bodies like this one. Let's say they're like purple. Let's say the one with the red flower band or whatever it's called. Let's say she ends up swallowing Fango. We see Fango inside her plant body. We see she's got like a cell that's part animal cell, part plant cell. It's actually very funny because she's like an animal and plant together. Well, it's okay. Maybe let's just say we don't really show their cells, what their cells looks like. Like it's not gonna have exactly what plants and animal cells have. Let's say these, but yeah, I mean it does have exactly it's like animal cells and plant cells together. And these girls, they got both animal cells and plant cells, or like we could call them animal plant cells. Because they're Venus, like giant walking, talking Venus flytraps, and they got, or maybe like maybe they could be like alien cells. We don't know what alien cells have. Probably something a lot more dangerous. Probably something that animal cells and plant cells do not have. Sorry, I had to get another drink. Excuse me. And I burped. You heard me say, excuse me, right? And there's a dog. Grandma's coming in. I hope I can finish this podcast in time and get to the other one. Nope, I hear the dog approaching. Hold on. Okay, I'm back now. Wait, I did just mention the part where the train hits. Yeah, I think I did mention the part where the train hits the dome and destroys both the train and the dome when the Venus flytrap girls tries to hit Fango on his puppy dog mecha suit. Yeah, but he dodges them and that's what caused the train to hit the cathedral. And then, but yeah, we see the fire jet hit an oil tower. Maybe probably it came after that. I know I just mentioned that part. Yeah. But hey, anyway, yes. Don't have to re-mention it. But yeah. But we're in the part where Fango's inside the Venus flytrap girl. The one you see on the right. The one on the right, yeah, the one you see. Well, that's the one with the red flowers. Yeah, that's the one he ends up being engulfed by or like consumed by. I think she just devours him and him in his mecha suit and he's trying to get out. We see him go through. Yes, sorry about that. But yeah. So yeah, he's inside the Venus flytrap girl's body, but then we see he ends up in their stomach, but then he sees the tank, and then he just spares a part of her stomach with the tank, and then the tank explodes. But not only does the tank explode, her stomach explodes too, and then Fango manages to break free, and then let's say he actually bursts out of this, the back or whatever this part of the back is called. So yeah, sorry, I thought I was recording still, but turns out I wasn't. So yeah, Fango, he says when we see he's inside the Venus flytrap girl's body. He breaks his way out by exploding a tank in her stomach, and then that's how he defeats them with the tanks. First, he explodes the tank in her stomach. It explodes her stomach, not like the outer, like the organ stomach, and then he bursts out of her upper back. He just and then he throws another tank through the one. Yeah, he's like inside the one with the red flowers, but he bursts out of her, and then he throws a tank through the one with the purple flowers. He throws it through her chest, and then it explodes as well, and that's when they both get defeated. And then he says, "Bingo!" And everyone's like cheers for him. They're like, "Bingo indeed." He says, "Thank you so much." He's just saying thank you, like he's thanking them for cheering for him, for defeating those girls. And that's when, but then after that we get him. That's when we get a day 2 card. Or let's say, or no, not a day 2 card. That's when we cut to the master of the Lunerboonies. He says, no, Bingo! Another Lunerboonie failed me. He's like, yup, he's an angry master. Pretty gosh darn stinking angry. Another Lunerboonie failed him, which made him really upset. And it's never his lucky day over that. Yeah. I actually drew him on a piece of paper, but I showed you what he should probably look like. Actually, he's got like a mechanic in Dangerous backpack. He's got like this hat that can read people's minds, but it's also can it's got like a laser beam type tool on it that can vaporize somebody, But yeah, he says, it's time to think of, I gotta do something about this. He says, wait a minute, I have an idea. Yeah, he puts up his index finger and he's he says, I have an idea. Yeah. He says, I should send the next girls right now. I'm gonna send the strongest one. That's when you zoom into him, his face as he's just slowly zooming into his face just a little bit, and he's like laughing, giggling a little bit. And that's when we cut to outer space in the Earth universe. Or in the universe that the Strong Lungs are in. We see the Dream Gate open. And then that's when we see these girls' asteroid egg come through the Dream Gate. Now these girls, I gotta figure out. They're called, I wouldn't say, they're actually meant to be, they were meant to be Cyclops. But I think we should call them the drone, the dronies. We could call them the dronies. We'll just call them the dronies for now. But hey, by the way, yeah, Fango is really tough on these. He doesn't. That's when Hacker says, he says the Dream Gate open again, but I don't want to tell. But he refuses to tell Fango this time. He says, Fango's probably not want to go and. He's probably too busy right now. I think he's too busy to fight a Lunerboonie right now. So that's why Hacker just ignores it for a little bit. Waits for something to happen. He wants Fango just to find out for himself. This is actually the part where it's an episode where Hacker wants to let Fango do his own thing and just let him not deal with the Lunerboonies at the moment. Just, I'll let Fango not deal with them. He's saying, it's okay, I'll let him deal with them later. Just gotta it's probably gonna be my time today. Guess I'm gonna let Fango, let him get his way today. He wants Fango to get his own way. He says, that's why Hacker didn't want to tell Fango that the Dream Gate was open, because he thought he was a little too busy having fun. Okay, so yeah, like I was saying, yeah, these girls comes through the dream gate. Okay, sorry about the doggy whine, which I really hate, but at least I'm not gonna go being like, hope I just don't get too annoyed by her. There she goes again. Hold on, sorry. Now it's gonna be even more annoying when she interrupts my podcast. She annoyed me quite a few times when she did that, but now it's gonna be more annoying when she does it during my podcast. But yeah. Okay, yeah, so anyway, yeah. And yeah, even though I know I don't mean to stop talking, but yeah. So yeah, here's my idea. I'm sure YouTube can like get those like talk stop scenes, like those parts. Maybe I can ask maybe YouTube. So yeah, if YouTube YouTube, pretty please, if you could Photoshop, if you could edit my videos, please. Would really appreciate it. I don't think YouTube would. Honestly, I don't think YouTube could do that, but if it could, I would really like it if it did edit my podcasts and take out those like scenes where where I stop talking when I'm not supposed to. But anyway, since I'm talking now, let's continue the story. That's when we see the Lunerboonies we see this red asteroid crash on Earth. Oh. We see it crash on Earth. And Fango doesn't notice it. Because let's say this is the fan point battle. This battle, no, these girls, we'll call them, we'll just call them the drone ladies. Or we could just call them the laser drones, or whatever they're called. We'll just call them the drone ladies. We'll just call them the lady drones. I know we just made up the kitty drones, but I think we should call these the lady drones since they're not kitties. Then we have Gold Kitty. Oh. Okay, don't mean to do it again, but I'm gonna try my best not to do it. But hey, at least we are getting through with this. So yeah, we are making it through. We are doing this part, and we got the drone girls, like the drone ladies, these red, like Cyclops robots, because they're robots as well. I'll do my Cyclops girls. I want to like at least like 30 episodes, like 30 Lunerboonie episodes. I'll try not to get too a hold with them, because this season's actually going to have 30 episodes. I hope I can get them on track. So yeah. Well, let's just continue the story. Let's not get too distracted from the story. So, yeah, they crash on Earth in Fan Point. Military notices it. This battle, let's say this battle actually this is a construction. I'll do a construction airport battle for a different episode. I should have made the Aether Moth. Let's say the Aether Moth is actually an airport battle. Because I should have made like, let's say the Aether Moth had an airport battle, and then Fango says, "Oh dang, what a mess." He says it after that he sees how much damage he caused to the airport. Let's say the next one is a nuclear power plant battle. Well, this one won't be, because this one's going to be in downtown Fan Point. Like, kind of like in, like, the city itself. It's going to, like, pretty much be, like, in quite a few places, like, parts of the city. He fights them, and fights them, and fights them, like... Anyway... No. Okay. No, what was I trying to So yeah, they crash on Earth and then they wake up in front of the military saying, well, let's say they don't wake up. This story is actually meant to be different, but Fango goes, he says, I'm going to take a walk in my mecha suit again. So I'm going to go for a mecha suit walk again. Since, well, Hacker hasn't told me that any Lunerboonies came through the Dream Gate, but I hope he tells me, but maybe if he does tell me, but I would like it more if he doesn't while I'm going for a mecha suit walk. Haven't showed it to Fanpoint yet, but I'm actually gonna show it right now. So he plans on going to Fanpoint. So actually, I'm gonna show it to Key. I'm gonna show it to Hornview. Then I'm gonna show it to Stormhill. And then Brickwell. And I'm gonna show it to Formor. And then I'm gonna show it to Netbury. And then I'm gonna show it to Star Lake. And then I'm gonna show it to Fanpoint. How's that for a roll? Yeah, he shows it. So yeah, he shows it to Star Lake and Netbury and Hornview and Storm Hills. And yeah. Let's say that's when he says, it's pretty fun. That's when he goes for the walk. I think I said Brickwell as well, but he's going to show it to that. He's going to show it to them. So I'm going to show it to them all. That's when he does. He fights them. He doesn't fight them. We see like a time lapse, or like we see like a few scenes where we see him like show off his mecha suit. He says, "Well, that is one big mecha suit you got." Let's say this one's actually like a frog, or let's say it's like a giant pig mecha suit. It's got like a round body. Whoa, it's a huge pig! People are like, look at this guy! Or let's say the pig mecha suit's got like two big eyes. It's like, you better oink it up, man! It's piggy time! That's when it's actually a white suit, and he's like saying, let's check out this monster. Huge. Oh, not monster. He says, check out this dude. I love it. Yeah. Everybody reacts like, hey, look at this guy. It's awesome. He's got this big pig mecha suit. This one, let's say it's got like he's got like two round eyes and a round body, and he's like saying, it's got a big smile on its face. Fango's on it. It says, what up, fans? I can even see Fango on it! That you can. Look, I love this guy! Look! And people are just like telling each other that they love this guy. Yeah, that's what I love to hear people say that. I even like it when I say it. Well, most of the time. Most of the time I like to hear people say that. Yeah, like, even cartoon characters, it's so great when cartoon character says, I love this guy. Cause dang. Cause look. Also, well, I usually love my crushes. Like, of course the Lunerboonies are, well, just my made-up crushes. But they're also villains. And yeah, we see him end up in Stormhill. He says, hey y'all! Fango! Everybody says Fango's name. They all say Fango, and they go like, they take pictures of him, and then we see him in Brickwell. He says, whoa, get a load of this! This guy's awesome! And then that's when he gets to Netbury. He says, whoa, he's huge! He's awesome! Or like something like that, and that's when we cut to him in Starlight. He says, oh boy, I'm ready. Says, hey y'all! Everybody says, oh look, it's Fango! In his mecha suit! Oh, it's a pig! That one's a pig! He says, oh man, that one's a pig! We got a pig here, y'all! He says, we see a guy who's a little tired. He says, what are you talking about? Whoa! He says, oh boy! He says, is that a mecha suit? He says, yeah, man! He says, oh boy! And everyone's like, this is going crazy! And like everyone's like cheering for Fango. That's he says, this is the best day of my life. Oh boy. And that's when Hacker's getting the news. He says, now I'm gonna go show it to Fan Point. He says, okay, have fun. And the Hacker says, wait. And then Hacker sees Fango's going to he says, now he's going to Fan Point. Also something which is actually good because, first of all, because this is one reason why he should be going to Fan Point, because there's a monster. Because one of the Lunerboonies just crash landed there, they say. And then, while Fango doesn't notice, when he arrives, because Hacker says, wait, that's good. He'll notice the Lunerboonie once, because that's where I heard, he says, wait, oh, that's where the Lunerboonie crash landed? He says, well, that's good. Hacker is just kind of proud of Fango for going to the Lunerboonie crater site, even though he doesn't realize it's there. And that's when we cut to Fango arriving in Fan Point. He says, hey, here we go.
Hurry it up.
He says, he says, hey y'all, what's up? He says, oh, Fango, thank goodness you're here. He says, look. He says, whoa. Wow. He says, uh-oh. Yeah, he sees like this big robot flower. He says, he sees 3 of them. He says, what is this? Well, if this is another Lunerboonie, good thing I put on my mecha suit, even though I was just putting it on to show off. I was going to use this one for the next Lunerboonie, but I guess, but the time is here, the time is now. Oh, here it comes. Don't say that in my podcast, especially.
Sorry
about that, guys. Somebody cussed during a podcast again. I really wish.
9 o'clock. Hurry it up.
Never. Okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry for the mean old rule interruption breaker, or I don't know what to call them. But yeah, still. So yeah, Fango, he gets in his mecha suit. He's saying, he's looking around saying, That's when he says, once he gets near them, that's when we hear like a beep. That's when the flower, like there's like lights on the flower like underneath. He says, whoa, what's it doing? He sees, that's when it starts beeping. You hear a beeping sound, we see lights underneath, and that's when we see the like big flowers, like 4 of them. They open up like this. Yeah, they open up. And then they kind of like it's how like it kind of looks like a flower's blooming. It's like this like onion looking, this big metal onion. Turns out it's actually a giant robot like flower that kind of blooms, opens up kind of like a flower blooming. Turns out we see, let's say these are actually known as the fairy drones. Well, even though they're not fairies, I think usually fairies are born from flowers, like they emerge from magical flowers. But since these are like robots, they open up. They're like, it opens up. He says, "Whoa, what is this?" And then he goes like, and that's when we see the 3 Lunerboonies wake up. And he says, destroy. He says, I can. That's when they turn on. And then they start moving. He says, and then they step out of the flower, and then or let's say they're still in the flower, and that's when they say, I see you. Oh, thanks for these. And then they say, he says, I can see you. And then Fango says, and then they say, I must destroy you. He says, aha! I knew it! I knew you were another Lunerboonie. He says, come on, bring it! Let's say that, yeah, he defeats them with construction vehicles. Actually, his friends does, because actually, like 3 of his friends, like, let's say that, like it was Daimi, and let's say it was actually, let's say Axel and like Daimi, say Axel, but also Daimi helps, or maybe let's say that Axel actually grows up. Let's say he actually, like, Dimey and let's say Dimey and Lark and like Lark the water bottle, or maybe Lecter the book helps. And that's when we see and then we see Lark the water bottle, like Dimey helps too. Let's say Thor the hammer also helps, like he's one of my strong lungs. And then they get in the mecha, and then they don't get in the mecha suit. They just show up to see where Fango's fighting these things. We cut to them. He says, "Guys, I need your help. I'm dealing with these 3 mechas and I'm fighting them and it ain't fun."
Go to bed.
And then he's using all his attacks. He says, "I'm using my machine guns." The fingers. We see the top of his, like the back of his hands opens up, and then these machine guns comes out. Like, or one of them he shoots at them, but it doesn't have any effect on them. Let's say he only like breaks their eyes, or let's say it doesn't hurt them one bit, and then that's when he says, "We'll show up, man, don't worry." Let's say like Logan, or no, let's say Dusty the Dust Storm came to help them too. Yeah, one of my strong ones. Or maybe Homer the Crayon should come and help. Yeah, it's Homer and Lecter and Axel who helps. Yeah, we'll do those guys. Yeah, Homer, Lecter, and Axel. Now, I mean Homer like my strong lung. Yeah, Homer the Crayon. He's one of my strong lungs. And then he comes to help. Or maybe let's say Christian the paper. No, it's Homer. It's actually, yeah, Homer, Lecter, and Axel comes to help. Say, "Come on, y'all, let's go." And then they get in. And then we gotta help him. He says, "I don't know how to drive a mecha suit." Said Lecter. We see that Homer tells both Lecter and Axel, like he tells Axel that he doesn't know how to drive a mecha suit. He says, "Okay, then maybe we should try it." He says, and then he tells Fango that. He says, "Fango, Homer doesn't know how to drive a mecha suit." He says, "Homer? Why is Homer with ya? He said he wants to help." He says, "Okay, then maybe use a car or something to defeat them." He says, "Great idea." And that's when you get to see them use these like giant construction vehicles that the Strong Lungs invented. Here, let me show them. And this is what they look like. So, let's say, yeah, Axel. So yeah, Axel. We see there's a giant like bulldozer that's like a backhoe. It's like a giant backhoe. And there's a dump truck. There's 2 dump trucks. One's a track dump truck. There's also a giant excavator and a giant crane and giant cement truck and steamroller. But so the ones that were chosen was, let's say there's actually 4 people that help. Let's say that Christian the paper came to help too. So yeah, Christian, he's actually a piece of paper. He's one of my strong lungs. He actually comes to help. Say he used a dump truck. And then, that's when we see, and then, let's say let's say 2 strikes 1. That's when we see, that's when we see the parts where, that's when we see them strike the Lunerboonie. But we don't see them yet. We see Fango still fighting them. So yeah, these girls. Here, I'm gonna show them, but then I'm gonna cut back to this picture or show the construction vehicle picture. So yeah, we cut back to. Oh, that's after they come to help Fango. They realize he's in trouble. They come to help him. They realize that there's trouble in Fan Point. They're fighting him. Well, these girls are fighting him. Not its friends. Yeah. They're just beating the living snot These girls are just beating the living snot out of Fango.
Oh yeah. Hear me?
I know. Sorry about that, guys. He's doing it again.
Well, finish that.
I know. Sorry, guys. I'm vegan too. Okay, so yeah. They're fighting, kicking things, throwing debris at Fango. That's when we see Homer. And that's when we see Homer, Lecter, Axel, and Christian show up to help Fango. Toby says he wants to help too. Let's say he actually takes the. Let's say Christian actually showed up because he had to help with the the crane part of the crane, because we see the crane's a truck. He says, hold on. He says, and that's when they see. He says, whoa. And let's say that Toby, the golf boy, says, I want to help too. He says, okay, you can help. He says, whoa. And then they end up, but when they attack, saying, I'll help. He says, don't worry, Fango, we're here to help. And he says, and then they hit. And then that's when the backhoe vehicle hits Fango. Here, I'll maybe make some more like vehicles later, like construction vehicles. Let's say that he like. Let's say let's invent a 6-wheeled bucket loader, but I wouldn't make it right now because I gotta tell the story right now. That's the kind Actually, let's say he had Dwight with him and Dwight came to help too. Dwight drove. And let's say there was this I know we got a tract excavator, but we also have there's also let's say and then Roby helps. And we see Hacker saying, thank goodness Fango noticed it. Let's say there's also Percy the pizza. It says here, you get in those cars, I get in these cars. It says, good thing, man. That's when he gets in the backhoe, and then let's say he gets in let's say he gets in the dump truck. Homer gets in the crane, the truck part, and Christian gets in the crane part of the crane, the crane itself. And then we see Axel gets in the backhoe, and Homer gets in the cement truck, which looks really cool, and Dwight drives the 6-wheeled, or Toby drives the 6-wheeled bucket loader, and that's when we see the dump truck. And Roby, since I included, Percy was with them. We see he drives we see Kevin or Fulton. We see Fulton help. Fulton's that chocolate chip cookie character. Let's say pretty much all the friends helps. They start shooting them with weapons, helping Fango in the military reactions. Let's say Fulton takes or Fulton's a little. He's actually kind of he's. And that's when we see let's see, we see Boomer, or maybe not Boomer. We see Manny. He's like a giant inflatable ball, or he's a bouncy ball. He takes a bulldozer in the wheel. He takes this or let's say he takes the dump truck. or Roby takes the dump truck. He says, "Just take this, you big mean wobots." That's what Roby says. He's a Boston accent, of course. Let's say Mercy actually helps too. Mercy the marshmallow. So he takes. I think Toby was the one who took the excavator. Mercy takes this bulldozer. Roby, or let's say Roby takes the bulldozer and Mercy takes the dump truck. And that's when, yeah, they try to attack them, but they end up kicking they see the dump truck and bulldozer charging at them. They kick the dump truck and then they end up kicking the dump truck and bulldozer. He's like, ah! They actually kick the dump truck into one of the left turn signal water towers. Let's say they grab the dump truck and pick it up, and they pick it up and throw it into the left, and then Mercy gets out, and they throw it, and they try to hurt Mercy, but before they could, Fango shoots them with the pig's laser eyes, and they try to hit them. That's when we see the backhoe, and then that's when we see, let's get to these ones. So the one with the one you see on the left, or the one you see on the right, is the one who stops the backhoe. Let's say they strike them with they strike the bulldozer, and then they strike the backhoe. Let's say the excavator attacks. We see Toby trying to attack them with the 6-wheel, or let's say he's trying to attack them with the bucket loader. They kick the bucket loader. That's when we see someone trying to attack them. Sorry to stop talking again, but yes, he uses the bucket loader. But they kick him. They kick him into. He goes like, "Whoa!" They almost hit him, but he swerves and ends up hitting a garbage truck. Let's say he ends up knocking over a garbage truck because they tried. And then the garbage truck tips over. Says, "Whoops, sorry, my bad." That's what Toby said to Dwight. We see Dwight's trying to hit them with the excavator. They grab the excavator and throw it into one of Phone Bay's towers, and then it falls. And then it falls and collapses, but that's when we see the one you see in the middle grab it and try to hit Fango with it. Fango says, "Hey, you put that tower," or he says, or no, he doesn't mention the fact that he says, let's say he says, "Hey, you put that back where," he says, "Hey, you put that back right now." They say, "No, I'm going to destroy." Or let's say, he hits them. Let's say they just grab the tower and then they see, Roby come in, and they try, or no, Roby, we already did Roby. They see Homer come in. They try to crush Homer, but he swerves and they miss. Huh? And then he drives up one of these ramp trucks. You know, like some cars drives up like ramp trucks, like whoop, something like that. He ends up driving up that. Let's say he drives up the ramp. And that's when we see the backhoe get the one that you seen. He drives up that, and then that's when you see it hit her and goes like right through her. It rolls a few times, but it stands upright. That's when we see the like crane with we see Homer's driving the crane. We see Lecter's coming in with the cement truck. We see that Axel's coming in with the bucket loader. Yeah, so yeah, Axel drives through the one you see in the middle. He was like, ugh. It rolls over a few times, but it stands upright. But it is badly damaged. But none of its wheels pops off. It's just. But let's say the cement truck, and that's when we see the crane, and then that's when we see the one that you see on the right get struck by the crane, and then he's like, argh! We see Christian hits it, but then the crane, and Homer he does and then it hits. They go up a ramp truck too, and then each one of them goes up a ramp truck, and then he hits them. And then we see in slow motion that when he does strike her, let's say he actually strikes her in the face, in the eye, and it destroys her. And then we see, and that's when we see the crane break off the truck. We see the truck, and then we see it roll over. It goes like, we see it gets more. And that's when we see the cement, and then you see it roll over, and it hits a street light, and we see it's badly damaged. We see oil leaking out of it. Doesn't catch on fire though, but we can see that it lost one of its wheels. That's when we see the cement truck strike the one that you see on the left. It strikes her, goes like whoop, and then hits her. Goes right through her, but it doesn't stand upright. It goes like and then Lecter, at least they all survive. And then they fall, and then Lecter, he goes like ah, but unfortunately the cement truck just ends up on its side, and this one actually catches on fire. Lecter gets out, and Lecter says, "I gotta get out, it's gonna blow." And that's when we see him running from the cement truck, and then the big cement truck, and then right before he gets out, right before it explodes, and we see him running, and then that's when it explodes behind him. Then he jumps. He's like, ugh. Or let's say it doesn't really explode. He just thinks it's gonna explode, but all we see is that cement truck's on fire. Let's say that the very underneath of it. Let's say it does explode, but just the undercarriage explodes, the tank and but at least he's okay. But yeah, of course the truck is on fire. But we see that. That's when we see the 3 drone ladies. We cut to them falling down. They're still standing up, but then they fall. And now they're just completely down. Fango's, everybody just says, yeah! You say, and then Fango says, and he just goes his giant mecha, his pig mecha suit's foot lands in front of him, and he says, bullseye, y'all! You did it! He says, he says, I knew y'all could do it! He says. That's when we cut to them back at their house, and then we see them that he says, and then Hacker shows up saying, hey Fango, he says, Hacker says, hey man, why didn't you tell me there was a Lunerboonie that came through the dream gate in the first place? Hacker says, oh, I'm sorry man, I thought you were very busy. It looked like I didn't want to tell you because I thought you were very too busy, because I wanted to give you some time. I thought you were very busy with something, and I didn't want to interrupt you to go fight it. And yeah, and then Fango says, "Nah, you should always tell me that they're, if you ever notice the dream, the dream gate ever opens, you should just immediately come and tell me." He says, "Okay, man, even if you're busy, yeah, even if I'm busy, it's because it's really, really important." Yeah. And then we see that he says, "Hey, by the way, these guys got a reward too." He says, "Hey, we see all the people that helped Fango, Roby, Toby, and Dwight, and Homer, and Lecter, and Axel, and Mercy. They all tried to help." He says, "Yeah, I got the reward too." And he says, "Well, good for you and them." And then he says, and then he laughs. He says, "Did I really just say that?" He says, "Well, let's see. I'm trying to think of how it should end." He says, "Well, good for you and them." Gee, he says, "I can't." He says, "Wow, good for you and them, huh?" Fango says, "Yeah, seriously, it is." Or no. Let me think. He says, "Well, good for you and them." Fango says, "Yeah, I know. You all are lucky, aren't you?" "We certainly are." And that's when the episode ends.